Welcome, one and all. Hello, everybody. Oh, click that. Okay. We are back. It has been a time, has it not? Yes, it's been a while. I hope everybody had a good month off. I hope you took up a trade, perhaps learned how to make a table or some type of cabinet. Maybe take up welding. Welding's a great hobby to have. It's a good craft. It's a good trade. Maybe you could be a truck driver, drive truck. Yeah. Maybe you went out and be a fisherman. You know, you decided with one piece on break, I'm going to go out and be a fisherman for a living. And now you're somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean fishing for lobsters or something. I don't know. It's weird how life takes you in places, but you know, you'll end up where you need to be. Hello everyone. Welcome. Come on in. Yes. No, I squandered all of the Void Month. I'm going to start a bakery. And it's going to be, that's fine. You could start a bakery, but it has to be the best damn bakery ever. You have to have the king of the bakeries. This is peak teching hair length. This is like, I'll be honest with you. I mean, people, it's the internet, so everybody has an opinion on everybody else's hair, it seems. But this hairstyle right here, maybe not so much this back here, because my hair is a little bit like bedhead, you know. But like this length right here is what I like the best. This is like optimal teching in terms of my opinion, you know. Go longer. You know, if I could grow my hair as long as like Spooky, I probably would, but my hair doesn't like to grow that long. Like, I think the longest I went without cutting my hair was like a year. And even after a year, it was like barely past like my ears, like my neck. It wasn't even that long past this. My hair doesn't grow longer. It gets to a certain point and then it just keeps poofing out more and more. So I don't know. I can't do, it doesn't just grow straight down. Yeah. But today we're going to be talking about chapter 1112, new chapter, hard aspect. We're going to be going through the whole thing and covering a lot of stuff that I probably missed in the review. I actually did see something this morning that I did miss. It's not a big thing, but I did notice it was something I missed. I'll just bring it up now because it's not a huge thing. At the very end of the chapter, I was wondering how exactly you get into punk records. Like, was there an elevator or something? Like, because we never actually saw a way to get into the hangar. In one of the last panels of the chapter, when Mars arrives in Punk Records, you do see on the roof of Punk Records, you see a little panel like moved, like kerchick, and you know, like, and so I guess there is kind of some form of door or elevator shaft or something that does open there. There is like a hatch, yeah. So we did see that. And that was the only thing I missed, I'm sure. Who is Spooky? Do you mean Shaggy? No, Shaggy doesn't have long hair. Spooky, too spooky. From such well-known, you know, D&Ds as One Piece D&D. And his actual YouTube channel, Too Spooky. Yeah, there you go, yeah. Looks like some kind of hatch. Yeah, it's a hatch. I thought Ethan had Saturn's legs at the end of the chapter. Dude, that'd be actually really cool if they could just assume whatever form they wanted, and they just choose to assume the forms of, like, I like the giant spider aesthetic, I'm gonna turn into a giant spider. But wouldn't it be cool if Saturn would be like, you know what, if I feel like it, I could turn into a giant mosquito or a giant yellow jacket. I'm like, oh man, that would be terrifying, yeah. Can't wait for Rant Cafe D&D 4. We could talk about other stuff later, but I'm really, considering also we just got off of a break month, I'm going to try really hard to maintain a direct line of thought when it comes to the chapter, all right? And then we can talk about other stuff later, but I'm going to try not to get derailed here. Yes. Also, Saturn had to get through the barrier at some point. It's very clear the Gorosei do not have a problem getting through the barrier. Like, when Marcus went into the barrier, I assumed he slammed into the barrier, the lasers hit him, he tried again, and he got through. Some people say that he didn't even have to try a second time, he just went through and it exploded, but it didn't hurt him. I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. Like, the Gorosei are able to get through the barrier with no effort. If you want to say they could just tank it all the way through, fine. If you want to say they'll get destroyed but then just reconstitute inside of the barrier, fine. I mean, like, they can very clearly, like, Luffy can get through the barrier. Edison was able to get through the barrier. You can get through the barrier. It's not even really, like, it's not the same thing as, like, a force field. I mean, it is, but it's not like a force field of just, like, I can't break through. It's a laser grid. If you try to pass it, you get shot with a shitload of lasers. So as long as you can tank the laser fire, you can get through it. It's possible. Yeah. It's not a shitty barrier. It's just there's like eldritch monsters on the island. You know, it's like we've built this defense system to you know, stop anybody from entering our secret base. Oh no, here comes Cthulhu. He was able to get through our defenses with no problem because he's fucking Cthulhu. You know, like, so you can't, you can science as much as you want, but it's hard to science around Cthulhu. You know what I mean? Yeah. I hope Edison survives. He is going to survive. He crunched the numbers and he said, I will suffer 78% damage if I go through the barrier, but I should still be, like, I'm not dead. I'll go through it. So that's why he did it. And he's going down to try to figure out some way to help the Sunny out to sea. I don't know if he's going to try to find some other invention. He needs something down in the fabrication sphere. That's why he left. So I'm sure he'll find something. You know, Edison is kind of, like I said in the review, he's metagaming. He's like, I know I will take 78% damage if I do this, but I won't die, so that's all that matters. You know, it's like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, I know I'm going to take 7,000 life points of damage here, but then after that I can survive, and it doesn't matter. All it matters is when my life points hit 0. Beyond that, I could have 100. I could still win. Yeah. Edison's nothing happened moment. Yeah, he appears next chapter. He's all like, half of his body is just blown off, and he's just like, nothing happened. Ah. Yes. He's tanking it. He's tanking it. I hope Edison survives this, man. Come on, Edison, survive, man. Make it through. You know what? If I had to choose between Lilith and Edison, a lot of people are going to... All right, I'd probably have to pick Lilith on that one. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to pick Lilith on that one. You know, like, she's hot. I'm sorry. At a certain point, you just got to be like, all right, Lilith, you know, she's got cake. You know, we have to let the people that survives that have cake. But, like, Edison, I really want him to make it through as well. There's only 24% of Edison left, though. I wasn't at 78 or was it 76? I think it was 78%. I think there's only 22% of evidence. Yeah, it's 78. There's only 22% of Edison left, guys. Yeah. Lilith needs to survive. Lilith survives. Let the readers eat cake, damn it. I don't want Stussy to die. I don't see any reason. You know, somebody brought up a very important... Well, I don't think it's really a plot hole, but it could be. And it really comes down to... Robin really hasn't used that ability to make clones in a while. You know how Robin has that power to make a clone? We really haven't seen her use that in a while. She used it at Fishman Island. She used it at Dressrosa. And that was kind of it, you know? So people are like, why can't Robin just make a clone and have the clone turn off the dome? It's like, well, there might be a range issue with that because, like... It's not like, here's the command room, here's where the Straw Hats are. I mean, the Labo phase is big, so it might be way over, like, it might be out of range, but it does, did she use it at Wano? She used it in the Wano anime. If she used it in the Wano anime, then that's not the same thing. Yeah. Because, yeah, if it's an anime thing, then it's an anime thing. I don't know, though. I don't remember if she used it directly in the manga. It was the manga, too. Okay. At that point, why not just use a pacifista? Well, all the pacifistas are down below in the fabrication phase. I understood that. Yeah. She used a clone to spy on Orochi. Oh, that's right. She did. She did. Okay. Well, in each instance where she uses a clone... It's always, yeah, when the ninjas attack, when the Oniwabanshu attack. You're right, I forgot about that, sorry. So, every time, though, she uses a clone, when she used it at Fishman Island, she was right there. When she used it in Wano, she was right there. She was just in another part of the palace. Now, the only thing is when she used it at Dressrosa, she was under Greenbit, and then she was in the Tontata city, and then she used it to appear on the surface to talk to Law. And there was a bit of a distance there, I guess. So there's always a distance with devil fruits. Like, Oda always comes up with fake measurements because he doesn't want to actually say, like, Luffy can stretch exactly 400 meters and no further. Like, he'll say, like, oh, Luffy can stretch about 200 Gumu Gumus, give or take. Maybe 250 Gumu Gumus on a good day, but that's about it. And Robin can extend her Hana Hana no Mi to about 500 Hana Hanas, you know, on a good day, all right? Like, it's that kind of crap, you know, he just makes up shit. Yeah, we would, having a range on what Robin can do with that clone would be useful, yeah. Yeah, 2,000 Hana Hanas, I stand corrected. That's a huge distance. I can't believe I forgot that she used that clone at Wano. Oh, well, a lot of stuff happens in One Piece. It would imply that she doesn't have to see in order to bloom. Yeah, there's a line of dialogue Robin uses during Jaya. And the line of dialogue, it's sometimes one or the other. Sometimes it's like, yeah, obviously I pronounced Hakarl incorrectly. Like, I wasn't even trying to pronounce it correctly. I knew I was going to fuck it up, but it's like, it's Hakarl. It's Hakarl! And I'm just going to say that from now on, probably. Yeah, anyway. So, when Robin uses the power to capture the Southbird, she kind of just says, like, if I could see it, I can grab it. And in another way, it's like, if I know it's there, like, if I know the general area where this thing is, I can grab it. Also, later on, at the very beginning of Skypiea, when Robin is extending her hand to go grab Usopp, who fell out of the cloud, right? Like, so Luffy extends his hand into the cloud. Robin can't see into the cloud. It's a cloud, all right? She uses her powers to have an eye appear on Luffy's arm, and then extends her arms out of Luffy's arm, grabs Usopp, and drags him up. So Robin was able to, like, she knew, like, Luffy's extending his arm, so she knew the general area where his arm would be, but she didn't see exactly where she was spawning that eyeball, and it still worked, right? So it's kind of like that. It's kind of more of the idea of, like, what is it? If she knows where something is, generally speaking, it's good enough, you know? Yeah. She grabbed Frankie. She can remotely pull a lever. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think there's a problem with that. Like, even if there's a range with there is a range with the Hana Hana no Mi, but even if the range is so far that she can't do it from her present location, there's ways around that. You know what I mean? Like if the lab is here and they're here and the range of the Hana Hana no Mi is like halfway, like, okay, well then have Robin be halfway, pull the lever, lower the dome, and then just, you know, she would be able to get to the ship relatively quickly. Or have, like, Zoro or somebody help her. Or, like, there might be, like, there's no, like, technology or anything in the labo phase, like the Vega tank or something that she could take to just zip her back. I mean, there should be ways that they could do this. Actually, there's no jetpacks anywhere. I feel like they would have jetpacks, you know what I mean? It's Egghead, you know? You probably need a scientist to turn off the dome. See, I question that because I feel like it could just get to a point where you could do all the science stuff and then you could just get to a point where you just have to pull a lever or push a button. Like, there's gotta be a point where, yeah, you probably have to type in a password, you gotta go into, like, okay, lower the Frontier Dome protocol and everything, but at some point during that process, it's going to just be press a button and then that finishes the process, you know what I mean? So, yeah. They have the Dom shoes, so she would be able to travel further anyway. I like this Robin strategy all the better. We should use this Robin strategy. Yeah. Isn't Robin wounded? 'Tis a flesh wound. She'll be fine. 'Tis a flesh wound, I say. She was standing up in the last chapter, wasn't she? Let's see if there's a scene with her in the background. Yeah, Yeah, she's standing up. No, I think, no, she's still laying down. Damn it, yeah. But she's in that floaty gurney thing. She's in a floating gurney. Just have Chopper push the gurney and use a clone and pull the thing. There it is. She is injured. That is a factor here, but she's awake. She's awake. She's conscious. You know. Where did you get that crazy slots? Oh, I made it. It was easy to make. I just made it out of craft foam. Yeah. Is there a certain range the Hana Hana Numi gives? There's a range. Oda makes up the range. He does like 2,000 Hana Hanas. He never gives like direct like meters or feet or anything. Give Robin some Hakarl and we're good. Give Robin some Shark and we're good. Yeah, she'll be set. Robin, yeah, and Robin is invincible against Buster Calls. You can't kill her. Let's talk about that for a moment, by the way. It's because somebody else brought up a very interesting point involving the Buster Call, okay? So, they're Buster Calling the entire island, and yet, when it came to, like, hey, I'm just gonna, like Marcus is like, I'm just gonna obliterate the entire lab. York is like, don't do that because you'll destroy the power plant. You'll set off all these gas canisters, and that'll blow up the entire Punk Records included. And Marcus is like, all right, I guess I shouldn't do that. But like they're Buster Calling the island, so there was no order given to like let's Buster Call the island, but don't hit Punk Records. There seemed to be going scorched earth with this, so. That's a thing. Like, what's up with the situation of, I've never seen a successful Buster Call. Well, O'Hara was definitely a successful Buster Call. They did kill pretty much everybody on that island except, well, Robin wasn't on the island. Robin got away. I would say O'Hara was fairly successful. They saved the books, but the whole idea of the Buster Call is to obliterate, the citizens and everybody on the island to just kill everything. Yeah. How many Gumu Gumus is 2,000 Hana Hanas? See, now you're asking the real questions. We got to bust out a conversion chart or something here. Isn't the Labo phase protected by the barrier? Well, yeah, but they're just indiscriminately bombing the entire island. It's like, and also the idea is, like, if you destroy the entire fabrication phase, you'd imagine, like, at some point the lab phase might fall down. So, I mean, the way that the lab phase is suspended is there's a building on Egghead that looks like a giant wine bottle. And there's, like, I can even show it to you. It's in the anime. You get a really cool full look of Egghead in the anime. It's actually really neat. Like, when Vega Force 1 is, like, ascending, you actually do see the whole island in pretty good respect. Yeah, here it is. See if it loads properly when I do this. It doesn't get scrambled. Now you see you're good. See, okay. See, there's that building right there. It's like a giant wine bottle that is producing the island cloud. It's producing the pyrobrine that makes up the island cloud, right? So the idea is if you destroy that building, which the Buster Call would almost certainly do, the whole lab phase might, that whole island cloud might disassemble. It might disintegrate and collapse. You know what I mean? Because, well, here's the kicker. When the Straw Hats came down from Skypiea, they tried to use the Milky Dials, and it wouldn't work. But then after the time skip, because of Nami being on Weatheria, she figured out some method to keep island clouds active in the blue sea. She was able to figure out a way to do that. So Vegapunk would probably be able to figure out a way to do that too. But the thing is, they probably don't stick around forever, because you wouldn't need a building to keep producing island cloud if you just made the island cloud and it just stayed like that indefinitely, right? There's a building that is constantly funneling more vapor and I guess pyrobrine into that island cloud to keep it up there. So if that building is destroyed, eventually it's probably going to go. That building is heavily fortified. Well, I mean, that's the whole idea of a Buster Call. How fortified is fortified? Can it take 1,000 gunpowder, giant, cannonballs? I mean, maybe it could. I don't know. But most of the island seems to be getting blown up at a pretty rapid rate here. Was Joy Boy a Yeti Cool Brother? That would actually be cool, because we only saw the Yeti Cool Brothers, once. It's funny. One of the Yeti Cool Brothers is named Rock. Not rocks, just Rock. So we do have technically 2 characters in One Piece that are named Rock. Rock and Scotch, not to be confused with Rock, Steve Zebek. Yeah. How does Weatheria's cloud work? Probably, well, they're in the White Sea, so they can suspend like normal. It's like a normal island cloud. Because it's in the atmospheric pressures, I guess, the island clouds could exist. It's just normally Milky Dials and clouds don't exist on the Blue Sea unless there's something done to them that like Nami and Vegapunk did. Yeah. Yeah, Rocks is the Yeti's not so cool, brother, yeah. Oh, that Ethan panel was so good. That was so great. So I think Sanji's going to jump in and attack Ethan. I'm not saying that, like, Sanji's going to, like, oh, Sanji's there. He'll be able to beat him. It's like, this arc is not about beating the Gorosei. Oda, I think, has made it pretty abundantly clear they're not beating the Gorosei here. And I was thinking about that earlier today. I was thinking about, like, okay, eventually they're going to fight the Gorosei. Eventually the Gorosei are going to die. How's this going to go? I think the lamest way that it could go is the Gorosei get their immortality from Eam, and if Eam is destroyed, or if they sever that connection, then the Gorosei are like, we have lost our power, no! And then they just die. That would be like the lamest way to do it, and I really hope that's not what happens. And I think Oda's smart enough to not make it that, all right? I think the best way to do it is they do get their power from Eam, and you could maybe sever that connection somehow. But even if that, basically what I want to happen is this. They figure out some way to sever the connection. They're still the same strength as they always were. And they can still regenerate, but the regeneration is not like right now it might be infinite. It might just be they can regenerate as many times as they want. But if they separate the connection or something happens with Eam, it's like, okay, they can still regenerate, but they regenerate slower, or they don't regenerate as many times. Okay, so it's like, okay, basically it's still a hard-ass fight, but at least you have a chance to beat them now. You know, it has to be something like that. It can't just be like, you know, it's like, oh, they, like, Eam dies, and all of a sudden Venus Juro, like, just turns into a skeleton, like, and then just passes. Like, that would be so stupid. I hate that shit. Like we're not doing this, like, in, like, the freaking White Walkers in Game of Thrones. Just kill one of them, and then, yeah, we're not doing that. So then maybe there's a limit afterwards. Like, okay, they can regenerate like maybe like 10 or so dozen times, and then after like a dozen times, let's say, and then it's slower each and every time, and they can't regenerate as fast, and it's like, okay, now we have, just keep hitting them enough times, and then maybe something will happen there. Eustace Ethan Bag. Give me my mallet. Stupid dog, you made me look bad. Dragon's gonna 1v5 the Gorosei, trust me. Damn. Yeah, with Yamato's cover story, Oda, the panels do look rather similar. I don't know if it's in reference to something in Japan. Maybe it's like an old school way of, like, you know, picture books or something. If there's a reference here, or if it's just like the overall style is just going to be Yamato on the left with somebody else on the right interacting, and then that's going to be like maybe the style, or it could just be a coincidence. Do you think they will stop the broadcast, and how do you think the Straw Hats will escape? You know, at this point, that broadcast better not stop. At this point, we waited a month. We waited a month, and that broadcast is still not here yet. No, I don't think the broadcast is going to stop. I think even if Marcus destroys that Denden Mushi, that broadcast is going. It's not stopping. Yeah. Usopp versus Saturn will be a walk in the park. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a wash. Usopp's going to high diff Saturn. That's not even debatable. I mean, like, he won't die, but, like, Usopp will hit him, and then he'll fall down and explode, and it'll take forever for him to regenerate. Like, Saturn's not going to be he's not going to be able to fight after this for at least a couple of hours or days. It's going to take to regenerate after getting hit point blank by God Usopp, you know? It's nice that Luffy finally showed the Geared 3 that they inspired. Yeah, it is. And also, I'm glad that I really don't want Luffy to just stop using gear 3rd and 2nd just because he has gear 5th now. I want to see gear 2nd and 3rd and 4th again every now and then. It would be cool. And so I think even in the last chapter, after Luffy had the shark, he was like, okay, I am going to... I mean, he could go back into gear 5th, but he's like, maybe I should just go gear 3rd because I don't want to keep using gear 5th over and over and over again because that does exhaust me rather quickly. So he tried gear 3rd and it didn't work. That's going to be a problem. I want a new gear 4th for him. There might still be one. I mean, we don't know. I mean, there might be one he develops later. 3, 2, 1, connection error, connection error. I need a slice of life chapter to cope. We just cut over to see what's going on with, like, I don't know, Kaya over in Syrup Village. Just like, here's Kaya. She's a doctor now. That's cool. She's looking at patients, learning how to be a doctor. Good for Kaya. It's like Goku stopped using Kaioken or Kamehameha. Yeah, it's like Goku after Super Saiyan was like, that's our cash cow. Hold on. Excuse me. That's our cash cow, Super Saiyan. We're never going back to Kaioken again. I did like the idea of in Super when Goku went Kaioken with Super Saiyan God Blue. That was sweet. Do you think we'll see Tank Man again? I want to see Tank Man in the original form. That wasn't the full version. Yeah. She could train under that gal from G8. Oh, yeah. I remember her. Yeah, the lady that Chopper worked with. I remember her, yeah. Nice to see you streaming sober teching. Oh, yeah. Oh, you saying that you're watching me sober right now. It's like, okay, how many people watch me drunk or high? I'm always curious about that. But, yeah, because sometimes I'm wondering, like, how do you find me entertaining without some kind of substance? But I guess a lot of people do. I'm like, I don't know. Me, not gonna lie. All right, there it is. I just want to clarify there. We are going to get to the super chats, by the way. We are going to get to those. It's 420. Oh yeah, today is 420. So I mean, this is probably the worst day to ask because it's like it's 420 today. Happy 420, everybody. Happy 420. I'm cooked right now. I'm always high, not gonna lie. But I also listen to you while at work. Well, are you high at work? I don't know what your job is, man. Will you ever smoke teching? I don't know, maybe. I'm always high watching you teching, and it's 420. It's 420. I'm literally right now. Yeah. It's literally r/20. It's literally roll 20. I have never smoked. No, I have not. Feliz 20 de April. Yes. My birthday's coming up this week. I will be 31 on Wednesday. Yes. No, officer. I said, hi, how are you? Just past 4:20 a.m. on 4:20. Man, yeah. That's 13 backwards. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. I know, I'm sorry to hear that too. I'm sorry to hear that I'm going to be 31. Birthday stream? Maybe. Yeah, I think I could do something that day. Yeah. I have something going on in the morning, but I might be able to do something in the afternoon. Happy birthday! Yeah. Yeah, today's date is a palindrome. Yep. 420, 2024 is the same forwards and backs. Yeah. Unless you write the date, I guess. Wait, no, it's not. No, it is. It is. Yeah, it is. I'm looking at it. Unless you write it opposite, because the way we write it in the States is month, then day, then year. Yeah. Not day, month, year. Okay, so let's talk about what's at the end of the chapter. What Marcus Mars might have seen from the giant dome thing in Punk Records, okay? So I've been seeing a lot of people. There was one person that suggested Caribou. I think Caribou is with Katarina, and that was their job. That Katarina and Augur's job was to get there and copy Saturn and get the fuck out. That was their job. They either took Caribou with them, which I think is the most likely. I don't think like Oda would just be like, no, we're not taking you with you, gone, bye, and then Caribou's still stuck on the island. That would be funny, but I'm pretty sure Caribou went with them. They got the hell out of there. They even mentioned they were on their way out of the island. You know, Katarina was like, why didn't you warp us off the island? And Augur was like, I don't really have complete control over it yet. So they're clearly leaving the island. It's not going to be them. The brain in a jar idea is very, I guess, basic because everyone assumes, like, well, it's Vegapunk's brain in Punk Records. We know it's there. He said as much. So it being a giant brain in a jar is not crazy. It's just kind of obvious, right? What would the giant brain in a jar do, though? Like, it's a brain in a jar that's, like, bubbling and stuff. It's like, okay, what's that gonna do to Marcus? You know, because does the brain have psionic powers? Like, what's it gonna do? Could it be someone we haven't seen before? Wasn't there a mystery man? Okay, what do you mean by mystery person? Because there's something that a lot of people have brought up that I think Oda has already very clearly solved, and it was, didn't Vegapunk call somebody early on in the arc and ask for help? It could be them. It's like, that was Stussy. 100%. That was Stussy, all right? Vegapunk made a call, and someone's like, yes, I have been waiting for this moment. That was Stussy. In fact, even in the last chapter, Stussy was like, this is my final mission. This is my duty. That was Stussy. That's solved. That's no longer a mystery. That has been solved. Now, there was also a figure moving through the island, blocking out the cameras. That could have been York, or it could have been Caribou, or I guess it could have been this character right here. That I could buy. If that was something separate. If it wasn't Caribou, if it wasn't York, and it wasn't, and if it wasn't, I guess that was the only two options, because Caribou's Glorpy, so maybe it could have been him. He's like Bloopy, because he's made of mud. But, yeah, the Shadow Man, or woman, the Shadow Person, you know? That I could see, if it turns out that person was revealed to not be York or Caribou. But it could have very well have been. It could have been just York that was blocking out the cameras and like, oh, there was a shadow that blocked out the cameras. You know, we didn't see it through the clouds. It could have just been York. But we'll see. Vegapunk took Eustace Kid on a recovery tank inside the Punk Records. People like to think that Eustace is like a lost satellite or something because he has on his railgun that he makes, it has 007 written on it. And because each of the, not only 007, just 07. And because all the Vegapunks are like 01, 02, 3, 4, 5, 6, so he's 07. So Kid is a satellite, yeah. Or maybe Kid will become a satellite later on, who knows? Kid is Punk 7. You know what? I'm more okay with that theory if he becomes a satellite. Not like he was born as a satellite or something, because he was born in the South. He has his own backstory and everything like that. And this would have been long before Vegapunk was making the satellites. You know, this was, you know, because Kid's like in his 20s, and Vegapunk didn't have the satellites 20-something years ago. You know what I mean? So if you want to say Kid is dead and Vegapunk takes his corpse and turns him into a satellite, yeah, all right, I'd be okay with that. I'm all right with that idea. But, you know, like, yeah, he's a Southerner, damn it. Kid is a damned punk. If Vegapunk's tongue is sensitive, why does he let it out like that? Maybe it's sensitive because he always lets it out like that, so it's constantly very sensitive to the environment. He can't put his tongue back. How is he going to put his tongue back in his mouth? It's huge. Is he going to, like, roll it up and just... You know, I don't think that'll work. Mars heard a small voice. It could have been the voice of the brain. Maybe the brain is... Because the brain might actually be Vegapunk. Like, the brain... Like, it was just an antenna. So people have said, like, it's possible the brain was just puppeteering the body. The old man body was just receiving the signal. Because if you think about it, we're just meat sacks that are controlled by our brains, right? You know? So if you take the brain out and the brain has, like, a Wi-Fi connection with the body just becomes a meat puppet at that point, right? Yeah. His taste buds must be so dried up. He has a solution that solves that. Yeah. Yeah. Biological robots. Yup. Are all the Vegapunks controlled by the central brain? So we don't know. We know that they don't immediately share all their memories, because if that was the case, York would just be able to tell Marcus exactly what happened with the message. And she does not know. Because Marcus is like, there's a message that's being broadcast. Where is it, York? And York's like, I don't know. I can show you the monitor room. And it's like, okay, let's go. He's like, all right, here's the monitor room. This is probably where it was filmed. York does not know. So it's not like they share all the memories. Also, the idea that York was the traitor the whole time, and they didn't know that either. So they don't share memories. Also, none of the satellites seem to have responded to the Stella being killed. So none of them are like, I have sensed that the main body has died. Like they don't sense that. So they are separate, but they came into being through the power of Vegapunk and the brain fruit. So if the brain is destroyed, if there's anything that might kill them all at once, that would be it. It's kind of like Big Mom with the soul fruit, where it's like, okay, if Big Mom dies, like we've definitely seen Zeus can betray Big Mom, even though Zeus is just part of Big Mom's soul. And yet he still has his own autonomy and sentience. But if Big Mom were to just straight up die, would Zeus disappear? Zeus is still around, so that might just prove Big Mom is still alive. Or you could say, no, Big Mom got killed in the volcano. Zeus is still around, though. Questions, and I don't have the answers. But I do have the questions. Is Lilith a robot? I think they're all robots. Atlas looks human on the outside, but clearly on the inside, she's a robot. I would imagine Lilith is kind of the same. Pythagoras and Edison look more robotic. I think they're all robots that have, maybe they do have some biological components into them, maybe. Because Vegapunk was growing the organoids, like, in the lab. So maybe they have real eyes or something like that. Or maybe they do have real brains in there, but, like, they're cloned brains or something. I don't know. Don't they share gastrointestinal systems because York? They share certain things like that. They share that, but they don't share memories. It's very clear they don't share memories. Or they have to willingly upload the memory to Punk Records, and they can choose not to. Saturn is going to defend himself from the greatness of God Usopp. He's not going to. He's just going to get shot, and that'll be it. Yeah. What about the blood from Shaka's head? Was it blood, or was it oil? Or was it some weird culture fluid? That'll wait until the anime. We'll find out when that happens. We'll find out, because Atlas got, like, Roku Ogoned from freaking Lucci. In the anime. Let me pull that up in the anime, actually, really quick. Let me look at that scene. Lucci versus Atlas. Let's see what that is here. Okay, let's see what happens. All right, Lucci hits her in the face. Her face cracks. Her head just blows up. I don't think we see any blood. Yeah, I don't think we see any blood. Her face is just smoking. Yeah, so... yeah, she's definitely not bleeding. We see sparks. We see static. We see her head blow up. We don't see any blood. Yeah. Vegapunk favorite Pokemon is Greninja. Yeah, I could see that. Prometheus is still alive from Carmel. We don't know if it's the same one. We know Big Mom created a homie named Pandora out of fire on Elbaf, and then later Big Mom is with Prometheus, but we do not know if it's the same one. In fact, I would hazard a guess it isn't, because I think Big Mom would still call her Pandora. I don't see why she would change the name. And we've seen Big Mom can create, like, when Zeus left, Big Mom's like, okay, I'll just make another thundercloud called Hera. Same exact type of homie, you know? So I don't think it's the same one. Maybe Pandora did die alongside Mother Caramel. I hope Frankie turns dying Stella into a cyborg. Frankie could probably do... I am a little disappointed Frankie hasn't done more shit in this arc, considering, you know, I just wanted more chapters and maybe Vegapunk and Frankie hanging out, Frankie messing around in the lab or making, like, working on something. That'd be really cool, you know? Like, Frankie goes in the lab for a few chapters, and we don't see him for a while, and then he comes out with a giant plasma cannon. Super! You know, like, something like that would be fucking cool, man. There's, I think, some lost opportunity with that, yeah. Yeah, Frankie hasn't done anything except fanboy, which kind of sucks. Yeah, that does kind of suck. I gotta be honest with you, yeah. I know a girl who's 85% silicone. Okay. All right. I don't think Stussy will die. I think she's going to make it through this because it seems very clear, like, Oda's very heavy with the, because Stussy's basically said, like, I've already accepted my fate. I'm going to die. I'm going to help them escape kind of situation. So you're really driving it home that Stussy's going to die. So that gives me pause on whether or not it's actually going to follow through with it, you know? Did you see him against Red King? Yeah, Frankie straight up just one-shot a Vice Admiral. That is something that shouldn't be... I understand that, like, it's just a Vice Admiral. Who cares? You know, he's not an Admiral. He doesn't have a Logia. He doesn't have a Devil Fruit at all. I get it. But, like, dude, Frankie one-shotting an Admiral a Vice Admiral is still pretty good, okay? Some people have said, oh, it's like one-shotting Smoker. Not exactly, because Smoker does have a Logia. It's a little different. But, you know, him still doing that's pretty damn impressive. Yeah, that's another thing, too. Awakened Devil Fruit powers tend to stick around after someone dies. So maybe if Big Mom did... I would assume Big Mom is an awakened user. If that's the case, maybe if she is dead, Zeus would stick around. That would make sense. But so would Prometheus and Hera. Ads on YouTube claim you get $64,000 in the mail. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I get 64,000. I haven't gotten that check yet. I don't know what you're talking about on that one, dude. You know, as for ads that claim to give you money, I would say no. That's like the oldest scam in the book. Like, hey, fill this out and I'll send you $1 million. It's like, what? Really? You know, it's like, yeah, no, I wouldn't fall for that. Yeah, don't do that. That's something that's as old as scam. That's as old as, like, the post office existed. There was somebody that's like, wait a minute, I have an idea. You know, don't do that. Don't give out your personal information on the internet, please. There was a thing that thankfully I've been seeing less and less of them, but for like 2 years ago, this whole thing started with, like, there'd be a channel that would take my avatar and post as me, but it would be like official Teching 101. And it's like not my channel, but just a channel that's using my avatar. And it'd be like, hey, you've been selected to win a PS5. Send me your address and we'll send it to you. And people would send me emails like, is this really you? I'm like, no, it's not. I'm not going to do that shit, right? If I ever did a contest, which I might do a contest again, I'm not going to do it in the comments section and never reference it in the video itself. Yeah, that Mr. Beast one annoyed me so much. Oh, God. I'm so glad. I'm glad they're gone, but now a different bot has replaced it. And I don't even understand this one, but whenever I upload a video, a bunch of bots will immediately swarm the video that's been up for like 2 seconds. And what they will do is the avatars will all be like sexy images of like ass or boobs and just ass and boobs. And they'll be like, this is such a fascinating video. What is your creative process for creating this video? And it's like, the fuck is this? You know, just like, they're just sex robots. They're sex robots, but they're like, it's like asking me, like, what is the, if you could travel to any point in time, what would it be? It's just like, what the fuck is this shit? You know, it's like, yeah, I don't understand the point of these bots. Oh, man. Yep. And it's very clear what they are because all of the channel avatars are just like ass, boobs, ass, boobs. Sometimes boobs and then ass, but mostly ass and then boobs. Yeah, those booty cheek profile bots are rampant. We need to come up with a name for them. We need to come up with a piffy, clever name for the sex robots that are spamming that shit. You know, hobots. Yeah. Oh my God, what are you guys talking about? Sex robots. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Page view farming, something like that. There's definitely a purpose. hey, Tekking, I definitely won that PS5. Where's it going? I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I have a stack of PS5s behind me. They're just invisible. You can't see them. Yeah. Thought bot. I like that one. I like the thought bots. Let's call them that. Let's call them the thought bots. I like that. That's clever. Thank you, AutoOps007. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably some AI bullshit. Yeah. Thought bots. That's great. Let's go with that. Yeah. And sometimes I'll get to them at the beginning of a video. Like as soon as the video's uploaded, they swarm like crazy. There's like 5 of them within like the first 5 seconds of the video. So I will typically like upload the video, immediately refresh. There'll be like 4 of them already, and then I'll just immediately go. It's usually at the beginning of the video. They don't spam after like the first 10 minutes or so, but like I'll have to go in there and be like block, remove by hand, like manually for each and every one, because they're just auto-generated freaking accounts. Yeah, it's a little annoying. Yeah. Is it the brain that Mars saw? I think it's the simplest explanation. It could also be a clone of something. Like, what if Vegapunk was... I was thinking of what could be something that Marcus Mars, a Gorosei that has maybe lived for 800 years, could see that would give him... I mean, he didn't look shocked in the last chapter. He was just like, Vegapunk, your luck has run out. And then he just looks up, and we don't see a reaction on his face. But I'm thinking of what is something... Yeah, I can ban them, but they just keep coming back. It's just, they're off an assembly line. I can ban one account, 5 more are just auto-generated. It's whatever. It's annoying. So what is something that Marcus could do where he could just look up and be like, oh, no. Like something that would actually surprise him, okay? Like, what if Vegapunk was cloning the Gorosei? What if Vegapunk figured out was like, there's Eam up there? So what if Vegapunk was cloning Joy Boy? You know, something like that would probably be like, oh, shit. Like, that would be something. Yeah. Things that would send 800-year-old man into a coma. Yes, let's create this think tank. Let's see where this goes. A clone of Joy Boy is not a bad idea. Excuse me. Yeah. He saw Gaimon. Yeah, Gaimon would do it. Could be something Void Century related. Absolutely. Yeah. Could have been S-Clown. It could have been Buggy. He saw a thought bot. No, even here they're reaching. Yes. But why is it in the same room as the Den Den Mushi? The Den Den Mushi was put there later. The Punk Records is where the brain is housed. So its brain is definitely in there. Maybe it is what Marcus saw. Maybe it's something else. The Den Den Mushi was placed there later. Yeah. It wasn't Den Den Mushi and then brain. It was brain and then Den Den Mushi. He saw the comments section. Yes. Anti-Vegapunk. It's the evil Vegapunk. He saw Panda Man, maybe. Vegapunk made a seraphim of himself. I've been seeing that. I saw, like, why wouldn't Vegapunk, like, he's an old man. Why wouldn't Vegapunk just make a seraphim clone of himself and then download his brain into that? Because he has that technology. That actually does make a lot of sense. I'd go with that. Absolutely. If I was, like, gonna... If Vegapunk... Because Vegapunk knew he was gonna die. He said it multiple times in this arc. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna die. So why wouldn't you make an indestructible new body that's younger and more powerful and just download your brain into that? Because he has that power. Yeah. If he has enough funding to make the Seraphim, he can make one more. Vegapunk -1. Ooh, that'd be cool. Is it better or worse than Godzilla -1? Maybe he cloned Godzilla. Maybe it's Gojira. Marcus looks up. He's like, dun, dun, dun. Boo. He's like, Vegapunk activates the Godzilla paradigm. What's it called? The Godzilla protocol. It's a trope. Godzilla protocol is like a trope in fiction where it's like things have gotten so bad for the good guys that in order to save the day, we need to release Godzilla. Now, Godzilla might destroy everything, but things have gotten so bad, we need to release Godzilla to even have a chance at succeeding, you know? It would be like, it's like in Bleach. It's like in Bleach in the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, when shit is so bad with the Vandenreich and Yuha Baha and everything like that, it's like, we need to release Aizen. It's like, that is not a good idea. He could really fuck us over. It's like, yes, but shit has gotten so bad, we gotta take that risk. Threshold, that's it. Godzilla Threshold, that's the name. Yes. Maybe it's Aizen. Maybe Aizen ended up in One Piece somehow. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think the Conqueror's hockey... the Conqueror's scream Top Man did was the same as Big Mom's cry? It's a big, loud shout of Conqueror's hockey. So it's basically it's the same idea. It's just that Top Man's would be more loud, more refined. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, it's the same basic idea. What do I think about Peter's worm fruit? I mean, it's definitely useful. I mean, he could suck everything in. And the only way that really they're succeeding here is Luffy was able to do a bunch of wacky shit with Gear 5th. You know, he was able to just pick up a building and just throw it at him, okay? Now, that's not going to hurt him. It's going to, like, stop the vortex for a second and then just spit out the building. But normal people wouldn't just be able to do that, you know? Do you think there's a chance? You know what? I'm going to go to the Super Chats here because Super Chats, I think it's a good time for that. Fan funding. So we're going to go back up to the top here. Let's see. Did you know that Norwegian boats have barcodes on the side? That's when they come to port, they can Scandinavian. Scandinavian! I like that. Clever joke. Yeah, I didn't pronounce Hakarl correctly. And by the way, once we get to Elbaf, I'm going to mispronounce probably every damn word. So at a certain point, I'm just going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to roll with it. You know, there's going to be a lot of terms that I'm going to mispronounce. Don't be mad at me if you're from an Icelandic or Nordic country. What are your thoughts about maybe Whitebeard not having women in his crew because of Gloriosa and Buckin bickering for his hot body? He did have women on his crew. There were nurses, and there's actually an SBS where Oda addresses this and says that there was this very tearful goodbye after Whitebeard decided, like, I'm going to Marineford and I'm going to fight in this war and I'm probably going to die there. He sends the women on his crew away. He's like, he disattaches all of the medical equipment from him, all the IVs and everything, and he tells the nurses that, you know, you're relieved, you don't have to help me anymore, and then it's a very tearful goodbye. Because he felt like it's no place for women on the battlefield. That was Whitebeard's creed, I suppose. You could take umbrage with that if you want, but that was what Whitebeard did on his ship. Maybe it had something to do with Gloriosa and Bucking, though. Maybe it did go back to that. You think Robin will fight Saturn with Demonio? I think she's too injured right now to fight, like, with Demonio. Maybe the clone strategy could work, because that doesn't require a lot of heavy lifting, but using Demonio right now, I think, is out of the question. Thoughts on Lunarians and Nika sharing features? Well, yeah, it's probably like it's perhaps the Buccaneers may have been descended from the Lunarians, because you would imagine this with, like, anything. Like, I imagine, like, the reason a lot of some humans are really big, like, Whitebeard is huge. He's not giant big, but he's pretty big. Same thing with Big Mom. She's really big. She's not quite as big as a giant, though. Maybe there's splits off of, like, the genetics and everything like that, where, there's, like, demi-giants or something like that. So it's possible that the Buccaneers could have been branched off of the Lunarians or something like that, right? It's possible. Samurai Gandhi started out as my favorite of the Gorosei. With his current showing in this arc, he keeps his crown. Oh, yeah. Like, I think it's pretty... If I did a poll here, I think it's pretty clear. I don't know if I could put 5 on the poll, but I think it's pretty clear that Samurai Gandhi, Ethan Baron, Venus, Juro is everybody's favorite so far. I mean, if you did, like, a percentage, like, I think the majority of people would prefer him. You're my favorite YouTuber. Hope you have a nice day. I will have a nice day. Thank you so much, Kibari. It is nice that finally Luffy showed his the Giants Gear 3rd because they inspired Gear 3rd. Yeah, that was neat. And maybe in the next chapter, maybe they'll say something about it. Once, or maybe after the battle is like they're leaving and it's like, that was pretty cool. You could get big. It's just like us. It's like, oh, that's nice. You know, but right now they're in the middle of a fight, so they don't really have time to chat. Do you think we'll see Tank Man again? I hope so, dude. 420 while listening to this, we make our brains think. You need brain food, yeah. They share a gastrointestinal system. Do you think the elders can 1v1 Big Mom or Kaido? I think it comes down just to war of attrition with that. Like, I'm picturing, like, Top Man in his boar form going up against Kaido, and it's like, I feel like Kaido would be able to do a lot of heavy damage, but, like, at a certain point, if Top Man just keeps regenerating, then Kaido's eventually going to run out of steam. He doesn't have infinite stamina, you know, especially against a strong opponent like that. I guess eventually Top Man would win, but not in the way of, like, Top Man shows up and just one-shots Kaido, but, like, over the course of several days, eventually the fight wears on to the point where it's like Kaido is exhausted and Top Man is still at full peak physical condition, if that is their regeneration, if that is how it works. Yeah, Greninja, I could see that. Thoughts on doing anime cartoon dad tier list? I've seen a lot of people do those. I guess I should do it too. A lot of people have done that. If you're okay with me doing it as well, I could definitely do that. Do you think the Conqueror's Hockey Scream was the same as Big Mom's? I just answered that one. I think it was the same idea, just, you know, augmented to a crazy high degree. Do you think there's a chance that Emu could be an alien dog like the ones Eneru beat? I think they were more like foxes, but yeah, it's a canid. Yeah. Eames' transformation when blocking Sabo's attack and their tall hat gives off the dog-like alien vibes. Yeah, the heads were shaped a little differently, because Eames is like a crown, but, like, is it all a crown? I'm not really sure. That's the whole point of, you know, Eam being in silhouette. If Eam was an alien, I'd be okay with that. Like, Eam's an alien. I mean, alien's a bit established. It's not going to be like a thing like in Naruto, where it's kind of like in the final 100 chapters we learn about Kaguya, and it's like, oh boy, here she is, and it's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, here it's been established for a while now that aliens exist. Yeah. But it wouldn't be the same kind of alien, because Eneru was able to kill that one alien, like, with no effort. Just shocked it and killed it. So just because you're an alien doesn't mean you're super powerful, but maybe Eam is like the other kind of alien. What's a devil fruit you're surprised isn't real yet? Up until recently, it was the teleportation fruit and the strength fruit. Like, it was always weird to me that in like over 1,000 chapters, we never just got a devil fruit that gives you super strength, but now we do. You know, so those ones have finally been revealed. I can't think of any immediately where I'm thinking about, like, you know, like a devil fruit that, like, why doesn't this exist yet? But you know, maybe Oda has this idea, he's just saving it for something specifically. Yeah, I guess the speed fruit, like, you could go to ones that are just really basic superpowers. Like, where's the fruit that gives you super speed? Not like turns you into a cheetah, but like the Flash kind of super speed. Like transcending the speed of sound easily and stuff kind of super speed. I know the Flash can like transcend like speed of light and shit like that, but like, you know, maybe not on that level, but something. Yeah. The Storm fruit, I'm pretty sure that's dragon. Yeah, telekinesis would be good, yeah. It'd be boring. Well, like, the Riki no Mi is, in essence, it's boring, but not every devil fruit needs to be super complex, like a stand ability from JoJo's, you know? It's okay to have, like, this is just the devil fruit that gives you super strength. This is the devil fruit that makes you grow bigger. Except a guy that was already really strong ate the strength fruit, and a guy that was already really big ate the big fruit, you know? Don't have a T-Rex zone yet. Yeah, it's true. Why don't I learn just an entire language before Elbaf? Because it's really hard for me to pick up a new language. I tried to learn Japanese, and I stopped for like a couple months, and now most of that information is gone. It is not easy to learn a new language. It is not something I could just pick up and do. I wish it was. I wish if I could just download, like... I wish we lived in an era where I could just download languages into my brain. I wish I could just, like, learn 6 languages at once and just downloading. Oh, there it is. That was easy. That would have been cool. Japanese is the hardest language. I'd say it would be either that or, like, Mandarin Chinese or something. Now downloading Old English. Yeah, if you go through, it's really cool when you look at, like, hold on. There's a thing you can look at, like, wait, hold on. Okay, same phrase in English, Old English, Middle English. Like, I saw this thing once. It was like a Bible passage that was written in, like, current English, Middle English, and it's insane. If I could find it. I can't see it right away. Yeah. Hold on. No, it's not that. No, it's not that. I can't find it, but it was a meme thing I saw the other day. Yeah. Where it went through 4 different time periods of English, and by the time you get all the way to the bottom, it's like Old English. It's like completely different. What's the coolest named attack in One Piece? I think Law has some pretty good ones. Counter Shock, Radio Knife, Gamma Knife. I think those ones are pretty good. I also just like the simplicity of Kaido's like Thunder Bagura, you know, just like that's Thunder Bagura and just hits you in the head really hard. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, Galaxy Impact from Garp is pretty good. That's a pretty solid one. Yeah, Divine Departure's good. Shock Willy, Counter Willy. Do not touch Willy. Good advice. You know what? Orlumbus's Admiral Killer Bowling is pretty good, too. Zoro's are all fire, although some of them get kind of complicated and esoteric and, like, references to Buddhism and shit. But, like, they sound cool. Ichi Dai Sansen, Dai Sensekai. Pasta Machine, King Punch is great. Nipple Lights, that's the one. That's the one right there. Red Hulk. Jinbeis are good too. I like just the water heart, and then he combines it to like attack. And Brick Fist. Time for some breakfast with this Brick Fist. How would you feel about Luffy's mom being named Roxy Himawari? No. No. Favorite Gear 5th moment is probably the baseball scene from a few chapters ago. So far is probably that. Yeah. I feel like we're getting to the point in the video now. We've talked about the chapter for about an hour, so if anybody has any questions, they can bring it up. But like, I feel like we could now talk more about like just generic stuff. We'll go for another half hour. The Spy Family movie came out, I think yesterday in theaters. Code White. I might go see that tonight. I don't know yet. But I haven't caught up on Spy Family in a while. I was into it for a hot minute, and I haven't watched a lot of the anime. Thoughts on Breaking Bad? I love Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad's great. Although I will say after Breaking Bad and then Better Call Saul, which I will say Better Call Saul I think was a better show. I'm glad. I think Vince Gilligan came out and said, I think we're just gonna rest that universe for a while. You know, not to say maybe later something couldn't happen with it, but for right now, I think we'll just keep that universe the way it is. And I'm like, you know what? You came out with a really good show and then an even better prequel show, in my opinion. I think it needs a break for the moment. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I've never seen Dexter. I watched Dexter's Lab, but I never saw Dexter. No. What if Vegapunk's brain will have devil fruit marks, meaning the devil fruit's dreams are stored in the brain? People have made... I even made a video where I mentioned that one time. Like, devil fruits kind of look like brains, you know, with the swirl pattern. That might be a reference Oda's going for. Yeah. Why did you forget Awakenings in your DF videos? I don't know what you mean by that. I've definitely mentioned... I've made a lot of videos about devil fruit awakenings. Is Breaking Bad in Fortnite? I hope not, but it probably is. I've only read a little bit of Kaiju number 8, but from the little I've read, like the first 2 volumes, I'd say it's good. Yeah. You think Oda made mistakes saying myth zones are rare? No, because whenever we do see mythical zones, it's like Marco had one, okay, and then Kaido has one, okay, but he's a Yonko. So, and the circumstances for him getting it tie back to God Valley, so that makes sense. Wano might have something special going on just because it's been isolated from the world for so long. So that's clearly something related to Wano. But in terms of mythical, Luffy's is a special condition. Marco's maybe just found it. Sengoku was the fleet admiral of the Marines. I think it makes sense that he got it. Kaido makes sense. Katarina Devon, they are specifically going out there hunting for rare fruits, and she found one, so that makes sense. Orochi's ties back to Higurashi, who Higurashi was on Rox's crew, which was another very prominent crew. Onimaru was in Wano. Yamato, is Kaido's son, so therefore Kaido getting it and giving it, or keeping it, and then Yamato consuming it, that makes sense. Stronger, once again, member of Blackbeard's crew, they're actively looking for fruits. And then you have the Gorosei, which might not even be normal mythical zones. That might be something else, okay? So out of all of these, the only ones that I would say are, like, not special circumstances on consuming, and because they are rare, people are going to be directly looking for them. Like the Gamu Gamu no Mi, the Sun God fruit, ended up with the government because the government was directly looking for it. And then Shanks directly attacked the government ship and then got it. And then Luffy ate it. It wasn't like Luffy was just wandering around Dawn Island one day and was like, oh, look, a devil fruit. It wasn't how that worked, right? So I would say the only ones where it seems like just happen chance on how they got it would have been maybe Marco and Onimaru. Marco had the fruit when he was very young. He had the fruit when he was an apprentice on Whitebeard's crew. He might have eaten it before he joined Whitebeard. He might have eaten it after. If he ate it after, it makes sense that Whitebeard might have had it because he was a very powerful pirate that had a lot of influence at that point. Or maybe Marco ate it when he was a little kid before he even met Whitebeard. Onimaru was just a fox living with Ushimaru in Ringo. Maybe one day, just stumbled upon a rare fruit. But all the other ones are people that are actively looking for rare fruits or were given their fruits by somebody that has insane influence and power in the world that would make sense they would have it. Sengoku getting the Buddha fruit, I mean, he was an admiral for a while. Like, the government might have directly given it to him. You know what I mean? Yeah. I would say the only one that doesn't, and if you exclude Marco from this because maybe Whitebeard gave it to him, I would say Onimaru is the only one that might have just accidentally found it, like wandering around Wano and just found a fruit growing on a tree and just like, oh, okay. And it was a mythical zone. I think all the other ones kind of make sense. Yeah. Ace found his randomly. Sure, that wasn't a mythical zone. It was a Logia, and it was just floating in the ocean, and then it just wound up at Sixus. Yeah. I meant to ask, do you think Oda made a mistake saying mythical zones are rarer than Logias? No, I don't. Because like I said, all of the ones that have mythical zones got them from people that have, like, it's like, it makes sense that Sengoku has the Buddha zone. The world government is his boss. They probably use their insane influence to find and hoard as many, rare fruits as they could. They would find the Buddha zone. Kaido uses his power to get Yamato's Okuchi no Makami fruit. Yeah. Didn't know devil fruits can float. They apparently can. Love your content so much. What do you think? Who do you think is the strongest pirate crew the One Piece D&D Marines could bring to justice? Like right now, we could probably deal with. We could definitely take care of like Foxy's crew, and I think Arlong's crew we could take care of. I don't know if we're at a level where we could take on Baroque Works. I don't know if we're on a level. I think we might be able to deal with, like, some of the lower-ranked Frontier agents and maybe, like, Mr. 5, Mr. 4, Miss Merry Christmas, but, like, dealing with, like, Mr. 1 or Crocodile, that might be a problem. Yeah, Pegasus. Yeah, Stronger. Stronger is a member of the Blackbeard crew. They are actively hunting rare fruits. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta get YouTube short got me into Warhammer. Jesus Christ, is it bad? Oh, really? I'm not even into Warhammer. Although okay. So the artist that drew the king portrait I have back here, his name's Stefan. And I actually, if you're following the Briggs D&D thing we're doing, I actually commissioned him to draw artwork of Axros, my character from that. So we were talking a bit, and he's a big fan of Warhammer, and he emailed me about that, and I'm just like, I don't think I could get into Warhammer personally, me, because, like, dude, there's so much crap with Warhammer, and it's like, I can't add another hobby to my roster at this point. You know, it's going to get bad if I add something else to it. You know, so I'm going to stay away from Warhammer for right now. Maybe at some point I'll get into it. Yeah, One Piece D&D crew could handle Don Krieg, I think. We'll be all right. We could handle Don Krieg. I think we can handle anybody from the East. Getting into Baroque works, maybe Eneru's Priest, that's a problem, yeah. What about bird zones? How many of those are there? That we know of, Pell, and Morgans, I think, are the only two normal birds. There's also the hawk that's in one of the movies. So if you're just doing canon, then Pell and Morgans are the only Tori no Mi users that are normal zones. Then ancient zones, I don't think there's any. No. King is a pteranodon, so not a bird. But if you want to say a bird, sure. King is a pteranodon. Marco is a phoenix. And Marcus is an Itsumade. And then we have a bunch of smiles, which are not normal devil fruits. And then we get a bunch of non-canon shit. So if you want to include every canon actual devil fruit non-smile users, Marcus, Marco, King could turn into something that can fly, Morgans, and Pell. Now that's 5. Now, you also have Kabu and Beyond, who can turn into insects that could fly. A rhinoceros, beetle, and a hornet. So if you want to include them, because they are able to fly, they're not birds, but they can fly. They have wings. Pierre is an owl. Pierre is a bird that ate a horse zone. So Pierre is a bird that, when in this hybrid form, has wings. He did not eat the Pegasus zone. The egg fruit doesn't count because Tamago cannot actually fly. And I think it is officially a zone. It's a very weird zone, but it is classified as a zone. Does that mean Pell was right? Pell, he said, what did he say? What was the exact verbiage that Pell used? Hold on. I actually made a video about this. Of course I did. I made a video on flying fruits. Hold on. Flying devil fruits. When did I make that video? 2019. Okay, hold on a second. We're going to do some research on this. 2019. Flying fruits. Okay. Here we are. Whoa. All right, so this is what he said. Tori fruit model falcon. One of the 5 identified devil fruit types which gives the user the ability to fly. All right, that's not true. Because there's way more than 5 that can make you fly. If you just want to fly, there's way more than 5. But if he was referring to the 5 identified zones, or maybe specifically 5 identified bird fruits, maybe there's only 5 submodels of bird fruits, maybe he meant that, then he's still technically correct. Yeah. Oh, God, there's so many devil fruits that allow you to fly. So many. That's why I made this video. I made a whole video here where I do that. I like in this video, okay, here's all these devil fruits that can make you if you just want to fly, if that's all, you just want to fly. Okay. Shiki. He can fly. Perona can fly. Brook can technically fly when he's in his ghost form. Caesar Clown can fly. He can make himself lighter than air, and he can fly. Beyond can fly. Buffalo can fly. Doflamingo can kind of fly. Okay, that one is not really flight because he's just using strings. But like, okay, this is a character from one of the movies. He can fly. Let's see. Kabu can fly. Pell can fly. Kuma can fly. King can fly. Kaido can fly. If you just want to be able to fly, there's a lot of options for you. Even Robin can technically fly for short periods of time. She can glide. She can glide. Marco can fly. Yeah, there's a lot that can fly. Oh, dude. In this flying fruit video, I also have, I remember when I did this, this is where that was. I'm going to put a picture of my, okay, so I fell on my dresser back when I was living at my mom's place, and I banged my knee up really bad. And I guess it was right before I made this video, so check this out. That was the bruise on my knee when I flying kneed into my dresser. Long story, but that was in there too. Like, holy shit. Ow, I remember that. That hurt like a motherfucker. Oof. I cannot fly. That was probably why I put it in the video. I was like, I cannot fly. This is what happened when I tried to fly. Yeah. I took a dresser to the knee. Yeah. Tekken cannot fly. I cannot fly. I needed to check. I needed to make sure. I cannot, though. Buggy can sort of fly. I even put Buggy in here. Yeah, Buggy is in here. Buggy can fly. What's that called, guys? What's he doing right there in that panel? That looks like flight to me. Yeah. It's not flying. It's falling with style. Yeah, pretty much every Logia can fly. I mean, like, I guess Akainu. I mean, I guess Aokiji can't. But, like, if you can turn into fire, you could basically fly. Like Ace can kind of shoot himself over. He can fly. Monet can fly. She's made of snow. She just makes, well, okay, she can fly because she has the wings, which is because of Law's Devil Fruit, which, by the way, Law would be able to take wings and just graft them onto his body and fly that way. So Law could technically use his power to fly. Yeah. He could teleport using room. He can't really fly, but he could graft wings on himself and fly. Definitely. Karasu can fly. Yeah, that's true. He's a Logia. Pretty much every Logia can fly, with few exceptions. Yeah. Yeah, somebody was not telling Pell the correct information, which I don't like. I'm not really upset by that. I mean, Pell's not a fucking scientist. Pell doesn't know. You know what I mean? Like, how's Pell supposed to know? Pell's just a guy. He's just a dude that works as a palace guard. He's not like a genius devil fruit researcher or anything. Sanji could fly, for God's sakes. Yeah. Yeah. Still mad Oda killed Monet. Monet was fantastic. Let's see here. I did do a video about Monet's fruit. Going back to 2017 here. I don't think I have. A lot of my files, I didn't keep a lot of records from my videos back in like 2016. So like 2016, 2017. I don't have great records of all of them. I have a few, but just not all of them. Yeah. Monet always gave obsessive girl vibes. I really found it cute when Monet, the G5 Marines complimented her. Just like, whoa, this is a giant, snow lady. Wow, she's kind of hot. And then Monet's like, okay, thank you. It's like, I'm hot. All right. And she's like blushing and just like she's not used to compliments. Like that was really funny. I thought that was funny. She's like super bashful. Yeah. Then she just turns into the Yuki Onna, like, I'll kill you. I'm like, all right, you're still really cute though. Oh, thank you so much. But I'm still gonna kill you. Just, hot snowbird lady. Yeah. How exactly did the samurai time travel? We've never actually seen how Toki does it, but it's kind of just like a time travel powers go, ping, ping. You know, it's like that's kind of how it works. Since you started reading One Piece, what were the best arcs to read weekly? When I started reading it weekly was Impel Down, and dude, that was intense. Reading Impel Down, latter stage Impel Down, leading into Marineford weekly was a fucking trip I'm probably never going to experience again. And then into the time skip after that, that was fucking wild. So, yeah, that was probably the most invested I was, like week to week, back when I was in high school reading that. Worst dad, Endeavor or Coda? Yeah. I mean, wait, are you talking about Coda? Are you talking about Shigaraki's dad? Is that who Coda was? Egghead has been a hell of a ride. Oh, it certainly has, yeah. Monet seemed to like Oda messing around with the nerd girl fetish. Yeah, I mean, she's like, Monet wears those glasses that are like, I don't even know where this, sometimes memes, like tropes happen and I don't even know like where they came from. Hold on a second. Monet One Piece. Yeah. Where did this trope even come from? And what is the origin? I don't even get it. Like the spiral glasses thing. Like I think there's a character in Sailor Moon that has that too, and I never understood it. Like glasses don't look like that. Like why are their glasses spiral? Is it supposed to be is it a pun for something? Is it like this person's nerdy? They're wearing swirly glasses. Is that? I don't get the connection. I don't get what that means. You know? It's supposed to be thick lenses, I guess. Oh, like bottle cap glasses, like Milhouse from Simpsons. Like, okay. All right, is it something like that? All right, is that supposed to be how it's going to be? I guess. Okay. Coke bottle glasses, I guess. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, Monet had glasses like that, you know. It's supposed to represent like light reflection or refraction. Like, all right. I don't think it looks like that, but okay. Yeah. I guess it's supposed to represent their vision is like they're wearing super thick glasses because their vision is just that bad. Like, okay. I guess. Yeah, Oda probably took it from an older anime is honestly. Yeah, that's where Oda probably got it from. I was wondering where it began. Like, where did the trope start from, you know? More Brook videos? Gotta make more Brook videos, absolutely. How'd you guys like that D&D video I did on the Straw Hats D&D? That was a fun one. That was on the wheel. Well, what happened was I spun the wheel and it landed on rank the arcs on a tier list, and then I realized I just did that poll on the arcs, and I'm like, probably the same thing, you know? So I did the D&D one instead, and I really had fun making that one. That was fun to kind of sit down and think about, like, the Straw Hats playing D&D to begin with, but also what classes they would pick and stuff. That was really fun. I love videos like that. I need to make, because, okay, so I'm doing another Pokemon One Piece video. It's going to be the Gorosei this time. I've already decided, let me run through, well, I'm debating whether I should run through it now, because that's the whole point of the video. But I came up with Pokemon teams for each of the Gorosei, all right? And we talked about this in a stream a while ago. So Tuesday, I'm going to be gone all day. I work at the election center on Tuesday because that's the day of the primaries here. And one of my neighbors, I help her out with that because she runs it. And then I'm just the guy that sits by the door and reads a book and gives people the I voted sticker and just tells people where to go. But anyway, so I'm going to be gone all day Tuesday, and it's kind of a thing where I make the Pokemon One Piece videos. So I did the Yonko having Pokemon, the Tobi Roppo having Pokemon, and this time it's going to be the Gorosei having Pokemon. And I made lists for all of them, but I don't want to go over them here because that's the point of the video, you know? So, let me pull that up real quick. All right. So basically what I did was... Hold on. Yeah, I gave... I was trying to give each of the Gorosei at least more legendaries because they're Gorosei. But, yeah, I'm not going to... I won't spoil it because that's the whole point of that. I have to film this video, though, at some point tomorrow or Monday to get it out Tuesday. Yeah. So we could do that. Yep. That'll be fun. All right, where are we at? About an hour and 25, so yeah, that's what's coming up down the pipeline this week. And then there'll be a video I'm going to make on after the chapter's out officially tomorrow. I'll make a video on that. Teching, run for president. I cannot. I'm not old enough, and I do not want to. I have no interest in being any political party or, I mean, not any political power office or anything. I don't want to be a congressman. I don't want to be a mayor. I don't want to be a senator. I don't want to be a governor. I don't want to be a local councilman. I don't want to be anything. Teching, why don't I just beat the Gorosei? Oh, that was an option? All right, I'll just go kick the Gorosei's ass real quick and be back before supper. Yeah. Yeah, I guess there won't be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Stream Tuesday. I got to message Briggs about that. Yeah. Yeah, you have to be at least 75, apparently, to run for president. Especially this year, I've noticed that, you know. I've noticed that, you know. I am confirmed Yonko level. I'm Gorosei level, apparently. I don't know. I mean, I'll pick up I'll pick up Escanor's axe over there and go and fight the Gorosei, see what happens. Oh yeah, yeah, Uncle Bear, you doing the version of Garp from Romance Stone. I saw that picture. That was pretty cool, dude. Yeah, that was a good cosplay. Yeah, you were also at Anime Expo, and he was Garp on vacation there. That was fun. I think he was Garp for one day, and then he was Garp vacation the next day, because he was at the One Piece D&D thing. By the way, let's talk about that before I go. So, from what I understand, London MCM is going to be, Sunday is going to be our One Piece D&D, Isekai D&D crossover panel. I don't know what time it is on Sunday. But I believe it is on Sunday. So if you're coming out to London MCM and you want to specifically see us, like we'll be there multiple days. But the day that our panel will be Sunday. So clear your schedule for that day, I guess. I don't know the specific time. I'm going to be cosplaying as William. I actually got a new William wig because my old wig wasn't really... The old wig I had for William was more like curly haired, and William has like just straight brown hair. So I don't know why I bought that other wig. And the other wig was falling apart. So I found like it was like literally like a hippie wig. Like a hippie, like, hey man. So let's try that on now. This actually works great because today is 420. So I'm dressing like a hippie, you know, like from like the 60s or something. So let's see here. See how this looks. And I'll tie this into a like a ponytail because William has like a ponytail kind of thing. So let's try this out here. It'll look a lot better once it's properly combed and everything like that. And I have a wig cap on. And it's tied back here. And I'm wearing my hat. I will also be wearing my hat. Yeah, this needs to be situated very well. But yeah, I think that'll look good. That'll look good. And then if I have my bicorn hat on, that'll look fine. Yeah. I'll have to have somebody help me with this. But hold on. Let me try to grab my bicorn hat here. Haha. Yeah, I gotta sort out the bangs over here. Yeah. I gotta sort that out a bit. But don't worry, we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. Still couldn't find a tricorn hat. No, this is a tricorn hat. This is a tricorn. William in the artwork that Kieru draws has a bicorn. Okay? It's just that finding a bicorn hat, not as easy as finding a tricorn hat. You'd be surprised. Yeah. So I think this could work. I just need to, you know, handle it a little bit. I'm going to stop doing that now. Yeah, just set it there. Okay. Yeah. What about a monocorn? Just one corn hat. But yeah, I think we're good. That's actually an hour and a half exactly. So I think I'm going to end that there. Thanks to everybody for coming out. Tomorrow's going to be a video, I think, just a regular video on the chapter. Follow up that. Probably just on what's in the room. Excuse me. And then Monday, I'm probably not going to do anything because I'm prepping for Tuesday. I'll probably film the Gorosei video Monday night. I'm going to be on a podcast Monday night, too. The Nerdy Misfits podcast. So you can look them up. I will be on an episode. I don't know if they record it live or if they record it and then upload it later, but I'm recording my thing tomorrow on Monday evening around 8 or 9. So I'm going to be on that. And then Tuesday, I'm going to be gone all day. Wednesday's my birthday, so obviously I'm going to be busy doing stuff with that, like family and stuff. But I might do a stream on Wednesday. I don't know. D&D's on Thursday. That'll be One Piece D&D Marines. That'll be on Thursday. Friday should be the next chapter. Then they're going on break again for like 2 weeks, I think. So that's what this week's looking like. Yeah. Missed my super. Yeah, I'll look at the super chats again. Did you see the meme of Mars barging in and Dragon having a bath? I have not seen that. I'd have to look that up. I have not seen that. Would you do the most iconic Straw Hats attacks? Yeah, but I wouldn't do every single one of the attacks because that would be a lot. But I could do some. I could do some for sure. Yeah. Since you started reading One Piece, what were your best arcs to read weekly? I read that one. That was the Impel Down Marineford, man. That was really intense. I think I answered these ones already. Devil Fruit markings on the brain. Yeah. I answered these ones. Yeah. Got these. And who's the worst dad? If I don't know, Coda. I don't know if you're referring to. Hold on a minute. Was that Shigaraki's dad's name? I can't remember if it was. Hold on a second. Kotaro. Do you mean Kotaro? Coda, yeah. So I would argue, from what we understand, Kotaro, I'm not saying this is any... He was very emotionally and mentally abusive to Tomura. And from what we understand, I think he only struck him one time. All right? And then he kind of realized, like, yeah, I went too far that time. Now, he's a shit dad, for fucking sure. All right? But he's like, I kind of realized I went too far. And then that's when everything bad happens with Tomura. Like the, what's it called? The decay happens, right? All right. With Endeavor, Endeavor's thing was, I am going to find a woman to marry using my influence as a hero for the sole purpose of having a child with her that will have a quirk that will have the perfect combinations with my Hellfire quirk, so that child can be raised to be better than All Mights. And they try this 1, 2, 3, 4 times before they get to Todoroki. So all the other kids are basically don't care. And with Todoroki, he's straight up super abusive too. So I would say Endeavor is the shittier dad and the shittier husband in that regard. Yeah. Now, he's going through a moment where he realizes what he did was wrong, but just over like the idea of like, I'm going to find a wife, not for the sake of love, but just for the sake of like having a really powerful child that has a really good quirk. That's fucked just thinking about that, right? And there's kind of like a throwaway thing at one point where Todoroki's mom's name is Rei, right? Where Rei says something like, "Oh, when we were going when we first started like dating, it was like an arranged marriage. She didn't really have a lot of choice in the matter. Like it was like, oh, when we first started dating, your father gave me a flower and it was pretty." And it's like, okay, that doesn't make up for the years of emotional and physical abuse of you and your children. Yeah. But anyway, that's a great note to end the stream on. I'll say Endeavor was the shittier dad. But they were both shitty dads. Like, it's not, yeah, maybe when we do the dad tier list, we'll rank that. I don't know. We'll look at Tomura's dad and we'll look at Endeavor. Yeah. But it was her favorite flower. It's like, yeah. So that makes abuse okay, right? Yeah. No, it doesn't. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to end this now. Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you later. Teching, signing out.